Hey, this is Regan from Umo Furniture Salon. This is another part of the series I'm doing showcasing the steps that I am taking to refinish this vintage piece of furniture, this dresser. And so you have seen in my previous videos where I've gotten to so far with preparation. And I had finished in my last video a little tutorial on how to do ombre blending from one color to another. So I had finished that from top to bottom and let that dry, and now I've put in place my tape to do now ombre stripes to go down the side of the piece. And again, I'm using Dixie Belle paints today, and the top part is called Driftwood and the bottom is called In the Navy. And so right now I've decided that I want the piece to feel a bit lighter, so I'm going to bring the gray from the top down, and you can see I've done one already, and so I'll just do maybe one or two more to show you what the process looks like. And then once I'm done, we'll pull the tape off and see what it looks like. So this process is quite similar to the ombre without the taping. It's just in a smaller area. So the only difference for me, I'm still using 3 brushes. I've got one for each color plus one plain one just strictly for blending. But just in this case, I'm using just a smaller bristle brush, just due to the size constraints. I measured out my tape, and there's so many options. So I mean, I could have just done the ombre right at the bottom, but I thought it would be interesting to follow the shape of the line here. So I'm going to do the same across the bottom and bring the white down on an angle this way, and just see how that looks. And I use, it's called frog tape. It's really excellent for getting really crisp, clean lines, so you don't have to go back again and try and touch up tiny little areas. So that's definitely one of my recommendations. All right, so I'm gonna get started here and move on to this one. So I've got my gray only brush. And at the top, I do want to blend it in with the dried paint so it doesn't just look like it's hanging out there. And I think this one will go to about here. So that's where I'll bring my paint down to, and I want to have a good amount of paint there. I don't want it to dry out too quickly, and I want there to be enough to work with, but not to the point where it's gooey, if that makes sense. I've got my blue brush here. Bring that down. And I'm going to bring it really close up to the white, or sorry, I keep saying white, the gray, so that the blending can start right away. And let's pull off a bit of excess there. That's it. All right, so I've got this brush that I've already started, and if you can see, the top part's a little bit more, well, it's a bit lighter than the dark, so I'm going to keep that when I go to blend on each section, so the top stays a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to move across in different angles to try and pull the paint from one section and into the other. Get a nice blend going. But I'm kind of seeing that my angles are off a bit, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the gray. See if I can do this right away. And just blend in the top. So I don't use water in this process. I know you can, but I've found this is, for me anyway, this is the simplest way to do it without getting any blotchy areas and that sort of thing. And I'm thinking that's probably good so far, so I'm going to leave that one there. And I will continue to do the rest of them, but just because it is the funnest part, I'm going to pull off the tape from these two so you can see what the result is. Are you ready? This is like the best part of any painting job, is pulling the paint off. It's exciting if you can get it. Okay, so here's the first one. You can see where the blue went up to. It's looking really pretty. This is a really lovely, deep, rich navy blue if you're looking for one. It starts off like when you put the paint on, it's a lot lighter, and then as it dries it deepens into this really, really beautiful dark color. And the lines are super clean, which makes me really happy. And I'll probably reuse this tape because I've got two pieces attached together for a nice width, and I'll use that on the other side as well. So yeah, that's looking kind of cool. I'm really liking that so far. I'm going to continue with the next two, and then I'll move over to the other side and do the same thing. And you can watch for the finished piece on Instagram or Facebook, and it's Umo Furniture Salon, UMO Furniture Salon. I will do one more section on the front of the piece where I'm doing a decoupage of some really gorgeous peony gift wrap that I purchased. So you can see that next step too if you're interested in that. And contact me if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you again.